Hey there. Sorry to text you out of the blue, but I just wanted to make sure that I had the right number to be talking to Carly. Is this her?
Oh, yes, this is Carly, but do you mind if I ask who I'm texting and how you got this number in the first place?
Nice to meet you, Carly. I'm Troy, the father of the boy that your parents are setting you up with tomorrow. I just really wanted to apologize about all this. But, anyways, I was looking over some of the information on you that my parents were telling me, and, well, the weird thing is that I can't see any information on your dad at all, really.
Oh, I see. Well, I suppose that would make sense. After all, I don't really have a dad, so when my mom asked me to fill out that questionnaire about myself, I just left that section blank.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on a second there. Are you telling me that my son is supposed to go on a date tomorrow with a woman who was only raised by one parent?
Well, yes, I was only raised by my mom, if you must know, but is there some kind of a problem that you have with that or something? Besides, from what I understand, your wife and my mother are really good friends who go way back together. In fact, wasn't it those two who arranged for us to have this date in the first place?
Oh, come on. Don't stay with me about that. I really can't believe that my wife would do that. What was she thinking? But whatever. Now that I know, I don't want you to show up tomorrow.
Hold on just a second. What do you mean by that? Are you really saying that you want to cancel everything? I don't understand where this is coming from.
Do you really not get it? You really don't see why I would want to cancel this and save my son the trouble of meeting you? Well, what else could I expect from a girl only raised by her mother? You really think that I'm going to let my son go on a date with someone like you? You think that you're even good enough to be with my son? Huh?
I really don't understand where any of this is coming from at all, but if your wife and my mom arranged it, then your wife had to know the conditions surrounding my upbringing, right?
I don't want to hear whatever dumb excuse you've come up with to try and convince yourself that you're good enough to go on a date with my son. It just isn't going to work. So don't even bother showing up tomorrow. Got it? You really have some nerve. Do you know that? I thought I told you that I didn't want you to show up to my house tomorrow. What part about that wasn't I clear about? You should have never come here. What's the matter with you? You're nothing but trash. Do you know that? I never ever want to see you around here again.
Okay, I have had just about enough of this. You are a grown man, and this is honestly ridiculous. Your wife and my mom worked hard to try and arrange it so that I could come over and discuss starting to go out with your son. But the moment I walked in the door, you literally punched me in the face and then started screaming at me while I was on the floor to leave your house and never come back.
Well, what other choice did you leave me? Here I thought I had gotten rid of you, and then all of a sudden you appear on my doorstep about to walk into my house as if you own the place or something like that.
What in the world are you talking about? I was literally invited to your house. Your wife told my mom and I to come over. You punched me.
I guess a dumb girl like you just isn't able to understand what I'm trying to tell you, huh? But you sure have some nerve disobeying me after what I told you yesterday. So if you're so upset about getting punched in the face, then maybe you should smarten up and learn to listen when a man tells you not to step foot inside his home. In fact, I have half a mind to sue you and your mother for trespassing. So what do you think about that, huh?
Are you kidding me? You really think that you're going to be able to get away with something like that? You really think that you're going to be able to spin this around and make it out so that my mom and I are the bad guys here? You really are delusional. Do you know that?
Shut up! I'm sick and tired of having to exchange these stupid messages with you. You really thought that I was ever going to let a woman as low as you, who was only raised by her mother, anywhere near my boy? You must know that my family comes from a long, long, long line of bankers, and I'm not about to let your crappy genes ruin our highly curated pool.
Well, okay then. I guess that just means that I'll have to take all of my millions to another bank then, won't I?
What in the world are you talking about? Your millions? Your millions of what? You don't know what wealth is. You wouldn't know what wealth is if it punched you in the face. Which it did.
Hey, Hey, Carly, are you okay? I can't believe that you got hit in the face like this. How could he have done that to you? Are you okay? Did you put some ice on it? Hey, Mom, I'm okay. Thanks for asking. There was some swelling, but I think it's finally starting to go down just a little bit. It's not a huge deal. Oh, that is just such a relief to hear. I am so happy that you're okay. I really just can't help but feel like this is all my fault somehow. I really am so sorry this happened to you. I don't know what I was thinking taking you with me to the house after the way that he was talking to you. I'm just glad that you're all right, though. Mom, please, you have nothing to apologize about at all. I mean, you weren't the one who hit me in the face, and you had no way of knowing that Troy would even act like that. You didn't do anything wrong at all, and I don't want you to feel bad about things that aren't your fault, okay? So please, don't apologize to me over this. Well, okay then. I suppose that does make sense, but you're my daughter, and I just feel so bad that something like this happened to you. It's just so horrible. I know. I mean, I really didn't think that he was going to do that. Even yesterday, when he was telling me not to show up today, I didn't think that he'd act like this. But then when he saw you and I walking up his driveway, he practically flew out the door, shouted for us to go home, and socked me right in the face. I thought something might have been up with him when he was sending me those awful texts yesterday, but I didn't think he would be the kind of person to do something like this. But anyways, did you manage to talk to his wife about this at all? I have to imagine that she must have been pretty shaken up about all of this as well, right? Yes, she was a bit shaken up, just like I was, but it's okay. We both calmed down and talked about it, and then I had to go back and make a phone call to the bank. I told Linda, Troy's wife, that I was afraid that I had to do what needed to be done, and I wasn't going to stand and let her husband insult and assault my daughter. So I just want you to know that I stuck up for you and told Linda that what happened today was absolutely unacceptable and that I was going to do what needed to be done. Wow, and you were all calm during that talk with Linda? After all, I know how frightening you can get when you're angry, you know. Me? Frightening? Well, I am sure that I have no idea what you're talking about. I am nothing but lovely all of the time, right? I don't know, Mom. I've seen you get pretty mad a few times in my day, and I have to say that you really can be quite frightening. Do you know that? Well, sure, I know that when you were little and I was raising you, there were certainly times when I needed to raise my voice with you, and I'm sure you must have thought I was terrifying then. But you also know that it wasn't easy for me to raise you all on my own, after all. It was only me figuring out how to be a parent all on my own. But I just want you to know that I am so proud of how you turned out, and I don't think you should ever let anyone talk to you the way Troy did. I know that, Mom. In fact, the only reason that I do know all of that is because of the way that you raised me, so thank you so much for doing it right. I just want you to know that I'm not going to take this lying down either. I'm going to put Troy in his place. Oh, I'm sure that you will. I have no doubt in my mind that you'll do just that. Knowing you, I am sure that Troy is in for the thrashing of a lifetime. After all, if I really do get scary when I get mad, then I'm sure that the apple didn't fall far from the tree. Hey there, Troy. Do you have a moment to talk to me about something? I actually just wanted to pick your brain for a little financial advice. You see, my mom and I just recently closed our old bank account, and we're looking to open a new one. We were just wondering if you knew of any good banks to recommend?
Well. How did I know that I hadn't seen the last of the trashy girl trying to worm her way into my family? You really are clueless. Do you know that? I mean, don't you know anything about banking? You have to run to the guy who punched you to ask for help? Oh, what am I thinking? You were raised by a single mother. You two probably don't even have 5 cents between you both. But you really think you can just talk to me as if you're one of my clients? I know that you're up to something, but your little tricks aren't going to work on me. I'm not some ordinary run-of-the-mill bank teller who you can just go and tell some sob story to and expect me to jump at whatever you ask.
You really don't think that my mom and I have any money at all. Why? What makes you think that? Why would we even have a bank account in the first place if we didn't have money?
And just how does some loser like you get money? You have some lame little job that makes you feel good about yourself or something like that? You really are just pathetic. Do you know that?
Well, I have a job that actually features a lot of writing, if you want to know. Although I'm not sure why you're so set on trying to say things that will upset me.
And you're telling me that you actually make a living off of your writing? Somehow I seriously doubt that. You probably barely even make enough money to get by. You really shouldn't even be having a bank account. People like you aren't good enough to even engage with my profession. Honestly, what we do is like a public service for ignorant little peons like yourself.
Right. Well, okay then. That's why I'll do just like you're recommending and close my bank account.
Yeah, you do that. Then you go and stuff all your cash under your mattress and wait for someone to rob your house and leave you penniless. What do you think about that? Huh? Well, I really just don't know what to say. Although, I have to admit that you did get me. Here I thought you were doing some business with another bank, but looking over our customers' reports, it seems like you really did have an account with us that you ended up closing. So all I have to say is thank you for closing a useless account that you opened with us. You're only making our lives easier by giving us one less thing to worry about now.
You really think that my bank account is useless? You thought that it didn't add any value at all to your bank? Troy, I'm afraid if that's really what you think, then you are not even half the banker that you seem to think you are. But don't worry, you're still just as stupid as I've always thought.
Excuse me? What did you just call me? Just who in the world do you think you are to talk to me like that, huh? What do you know about my job or my world, huh? You think that some poor little nobody from a single-parent home can get away with talking to me? And a lead banker like that and get away with it? You must be out of your mind!
I'm afraid that the only person out of their minds here is the one being incredibly rude to a now former client of his. Is this really how you conduct your business?
You think that I have any business with you? You really need a wake-up call if you think that some nobody like you is even half as valuable as some of our top clients that we work with. Don't go thinking that you're all important to anyone or for anything. You're nothing. You're a speck, a statistic, and that's it. You, your family, and your entire existence is just meaningless.
Are you really telling me that I need a wake-up call to reality? That is really, really rich coming from you. But maybe your mind is just starting to slow down in your old age. Or maybe it's your eyesight that's starting to wither away. You know, if you'd like, I can help you find a good optometrist who works well with the elderly.
Okay, you little brat. You keep running your mouth and see what happens. You're only saying all this because you're hiding behind a screen right now. But if you were here, you wouldn't be saying one word of any of this.
You say that, and yet you really don't seem to understand the damage that you've single-handedly caused to your company. I mean, I suppose you will eventually, though. As for me, I'm just glad that I chose not to leave my $30 million sitting in a bank with such an irresponsible banker. So thank you so much for making it clear to me that banking with you was not a smart option at all. You've made the decision to close my account very simple.
What in the world are you even talking about? You really are crazy if you think that some idiot, poor, stupid, fat, stinky, no good, low down, worthless, scummy woman like you has anywhere close to $30 million.
I'm curious then, Troy. You don't exactly strike me as the intellectual type, so I'm not sure if you read, but have you heard of the author that just goes by the name Iris?
And now you go and change the subject when you realize that I've got you cornered and called you out on your lie. Is this how you were raised? To lie and then jump from topic to topic to avoid getting caught up? And yes, of course I've heard of Iris. She's famous all over the world. She's a best-selling author in every country. She's a huge deal. You really think I wouldn't know about her?
Ah, okay. Perhaps you're not as uncultured as I thought you were at first, then. It's good to know that you've actually heard of Iris.
Of course I've heard of Iris. The only way that someone might not have heard of her is if they were illiterate or living under a rock. Which begs the question how a stupid girl like you even knows about Iris.
Ah, well, you see, there is actually a rather simple reason for that. The reason why I know who Iris is because she is me.
Excuse me? What is that supposed to mean? Now I know that you really are just some crazy poor lady. I knew I was right to keep you away from my son. You're just after our money.
You really have no idea what you're talking about at all right now, Troy. After all, you remember me telling you that I had a job in writing, right? That's not all that I've done, though. About 6 months ago, I won the Nobel Prize in Literature and have been rather busy on a book signing tour all across the country and even a few others as well. That's how I ended up with $30 million that I used to hold at your bank.
Oh, come on. Do you really think I'm so stupid as to fall for such an obvious lie? You probably haven't even read any of her books. You probably just heard about her doing all of that on TV and thought you would try and steal her name and impersonate her. Isn't that right? Do you hate being from a single-parent home so much that you have to go around and pretend to be someone that you're not just to feel okay about yourself?
I really do think that you might want to take a second closer to look at those customer reports that you were mentioning to me earlier, Troy.
Okay, so I tried doing what you said, although I don't know why. I looked at your customer report again and saw that you put down your occupation as an author. But so what? Do you think that even means anything to me? It certainly isn't enough proof to show that you were Iris like you've been claiming to be. You're probably just some hack write who calls herself an author. But really, you just write repetitive stories for some webtoon series on YouTube or something like that. You think that anyone actually watches what you write? You think you can even call yourself an author with a job like that?
I really have no idea where you even got the idea that that's what I did for a living, but you could not be more wrong. Of course, if you don't want to believe me, then I suppose that really is a you problem. It doesn't really affect me either way, and it won't change how this all shakes out.
How this all shakes out? What is that supposed to mean? Do you really think that someone like you is even going to be able to touch an elite banker such as myself? You're a nobody. A loser.
It's a bit odd being called a loser by the banker who just lost his employer some $30 million. Are you sure you want to throw names around like that?
You're a moron. Do you know that? I mean, do you have any idea how a bank even works? You think you can just put in an order to move around a sum like $30 million and the bank will just make it happen right away? You think that just because 3 days has passed that everything has been taken care of? I don't care who you are. The bank system is not about to let huge numbers like that be moved around without a bit more scrutiny. I mean, what? You think that banks are just going to take the money of millionaires and billionaires, make them their most important client, and then enact policies that favor them over the average account holder? I don't know what world you're living in, but banks are the most moral institution in this entire country. So don't talk as if you know what you're talking about. But I don't even know why I'm bothering to explain to you at all how banks work and don't work. Because the fact of the matter is that you may be an author, but there's no way in hell that someone like you has ever had anything approaching $30 million.
Well, you should know that my mother called the bank not moments after you had punched me in the face. She said that she wanted to remove the money from her account and that she would hold on to it for a while. And in the end, we decided that we were going to be taking our business elsewhere, so she asked me to look into finding a new bank to hold on to our money. After all, not only did you, a banker with the bank that we used to bank with, insult me, but you insulted my mother and the work that she put into raising us. And on top of all of that, despite the fact that I was invited to your home by your wife, who was arranging a date for your son and I, you had the gall to assault me.
Wait a second. So then, you're saying that you moved the money out even earlier? And that there really has been $30 million this entire time?
I mean, it's what I've been trying to tell you this whole time. You said you were too smart to fall for a lie like that, but you're actually just too stupid to look the truth in the face.
Oh, come on. There's still just no way that that's true at all. I mean, I just refuse to believe that you ever had anything close to $30 million ever in your entire life. You really need to work on your lying. Because if you are starting with something so outrageous, no one is ever going to believe a single word that you have to say.
Tisk tisk, I guess I really did expect too much from you. I mean, you go on and on and on and on about how much an elite bank you are, but you let this huge thing fall right off your radar. I guess you were just so focused on the fact that I was raised by just my mother that you let that blind you to everything else that you should have been paying attention to this whole time. But I suppose this is what you get for thinking so highly of yourself and looking down on people just because of the conditions of their birth. Something they have no power to control at all.
Oh, just shut up already. I am so sick and tired of you going on and on and on and on and on about all your life's problems. I don't care. So what? So you closed a bank account. Big deal. I don't see how any of this can be tied back to me at all.
Oh, trust me, there is plenty to tie this all back to you, and you are going to be in lots of trouble when your higher up realizes the mistake you've made.
What are you talking about? Why in the world would my higher ups care at all about why some nobody closed a bank account? Like I said, you need to stop presuming so much about how banks work. You have no idea what you're talking about at all.
Actually, if you must know, my mom and I were asked by the bank about why we were closing our account with them. I told them I would only tell our reason to whoever was in charge of supervising you. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised at all if your bosses at the bank were all having a meeting right now discussing what should be done about you for all the damage that your ignorant attitude has caused. I mean, after all, why would they bother to keep an employee who was so rude to one of the bank customers that you pushed them into closing their $30 million bank account?
You really are delusional. You know that? You think you're something special? You're nothing. You're nobody. You were just raised by your mother, and that means you'll never ever accomplish anything. Do you understand that? Our bank doesn't need people like you.
Oh, I'm afraid that's where you are very, 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 very wrong. You see, your bank does need people like me, but who they don't need at all is people like you. But your career has been all but over since my mom made her call to the bank. You go on and on about how elite you are, but I think you just use that as an excuse to look down on others. I mean, you couldn't even do the research to realize who it was that your wife was proposing your son go out with. And you do realize that the pretext for us going out would have been marriage, right? Well, anyways, the least you can do is be a good banker now and go down honorably. It's over for you. Get it?
No! You're lying to me, and I know you are. There's no way at all that some nobody like you and her poor stupid mother could take me down. I don't believe you, and nothing you say is ever going to change my mind. Do you understand me? You've finally taken this whole stupid game of yours way too far. I mean, really? What are you trying to do with this, huh? What's the big idea? Did you really file a formal complaint about me at my bank? You need to go and rescind that right now. Got it?
I'm sorry, but I feel like I was victimized by you in your capacity as an employee at the bank where you work at. So I think I'm well within my rights to file a complaint. And of course, you should also know that I've filed a report with the police about assaulting me as well, so you have that to look forward to as well.
I don't believe this. You really don't know who you're messing with, do you? In all my years working as a banker, I have never once had a complaint filed against me. Do you understand? Now, you're going to call the bank, ask for my supervisor, and tell her the truth. You're going to tell her that you made the whole story up and that none of it is true at all. And then you're going to show up at my bank and apologize.
You really still don't understand your standing in all of this, do you? You don't have any right to be ordering me around right now.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I'm sick and tired of having to be talked to like this from a little nobody like you. Just call the bank and tell them that you don't want to file a complaint against me anymore.
But I don't understand. Why in the world would I go and do something like that then when I want to file a complaint against you? And just who are you to try and tell me what I can and can't do?
Who do I think I am? I think I'm the elite banker talking to some poor, stupid little nobody who was only raised with one parent. No wonder you don't have any manners. You never had a father around to discipline you when you misbehaved. But I can't blame a man for wanting to run away from someone like your mom. I mean, if you're anything like her at all, and given that she was the only one who raised you, I can't see who else you'd resemble. Then your dad was justified in leaving you both. And now look at you. You're going around lying about who you are and how much money you have. All that so you can try and target and bully and harass a poor father who just want to protect his son from a gold digger like you?
Wow, you really don't know what you're talking about at all. You do know that my mom attended the same private school as your wife, right? That's where they met, after all. My family isn't poor at all, and my mom comes from quite a bit of money and power, if you must know. Sure, she had some trouble raising me from time to time, but we were never living on the edge. But if you have something to say about how my mom was raised and brought up, then you might want to think about what you're saying about your own wife as well.
Oh, come on. There you go again, just spouting out horrible lies to try and distract me from the topic at hand. There is no way that your mother and my wife went to the same school. It's just impossible. I refuse to believe it, and nothing you say is ever going to change my mind.
You know, you keep going on and on about how you think my mom and I are lowlifes who are poor and stupid and worthless to you. But now I have to wonder if the years aren't starting to affect your memory.
Oh, shut up about my age already. You're such a brat. Do you know that? I'll have you know that I'm working as good as I did when I was younger, and I don't have anything wrong with me at all.
Well, I guess if you say so, but the fact of the matter is that your wife and my mom are friends, right? I mean, did you not realize that my mom was there at your wedding? And when my grandpa died, your wife attended his funeral to be there for my mom as well. I'm sure you have no idea about any of this, though. But I'll have you know that your wife is someone very special in both my mom and my life as well. She did so much to help my mom raise me, and she really is like an aunt to me.
Now I know for a fact that you're lying. Do you really think that my wife would ever care about nobodies like you? I don't know how your mom and my wife met, but I'm sure that your mom lied about herself as well. But unlike my wife, I'm not stupid enough to let some poor woman's sob story about her life blind me to the truth. I can see right through the both of you.
If you really think that, then you are just an idiot, Troy. If you really think that your wife is going to sit there and do nothing after she saw you punch me in the face just for stepping onto your property, then you really must not know her at all. I mean, I know for a fact that your wife is the kind of person to put family before anything, and I know how excited my mom and your wife were for the chance that their children might end up married and become a family. But I also knew all about you even before you reached out to me. Your wife told me all about how you have a horrible temper, and she's even showed me the marks that you've left on her when your temper got the best of you and you go after your own wife.
Shut up already! I am sick and tired of having to read message after message of lies and slander and nonsense. What happens between a man and his wife should stay between them. I don't need interlopers telling me how I should be setting my wife on straight. But you wouldn't know anything about what a strong male presence in the house looks like. If you had, then you would know that it's a man's job in the house to keep women in line.
Wow. Is that really what you think a man should be to his family? Just some authoritarian rule enforcer? All this time, I wondered why your wife has stayed with you this long. I know she's dedicated to her son, but I wondered why you. Well, now I can guess that it was probably more out of fear than anything. That's clearly your weapon of choice when it comes to manipulating your family, but that's not okay. You are nothing but an abuser. You're worse than the worst person I have ever met. And for what you've done to me, my mother, and your own wife, I am going to make sure that you pay.
You better just keep out of my family affairs if you know what's good for you. Or else, I won't be afraid to put you back in your place again. I was holding back last time, but I won't this time.
You keep telling me to butt out of your family's business as if it has nothing to do with me. But I've told you how close your wife is to my family. She's like an aunt to me. It wasn't just my mom who raised me, you know. Your wife was there every step of the way as well. She raised me with the same love and care that I'm sure she gave your son. She was the only one there for my mom when my dad ran away. Well, that and my mom's vast estate and wealth, of course. But now that I can finally help return the favor of all that your wife has done for my family, I am not going to let you get away with this. You are going to pay for this, Troy.
You keep saying you're not going to let me get away with this and that you're going to make me pay. But you can't do anything to me at all. You're a nobody. You're not a famous author. You don't come from money. And I'm going to see you buried by the time I'm done with you. Hey! You've got some nerve letting your daughter talk to me the way that she has been. Do you have any idea the kind of disrespect that Carly has been showing someone of my stature? This is all your fault. You should have raised her better.
Ah, Troy, I was wondering when I was going to hear from you. You sure have a way with words, do you know that? But I think you might need to find something new to write about. Your grudge against my daughter is really not a good look, you know.
Oh, shut up already, you old hag. Don't you start disrespecting me now, too. I'll see you and your daughter ruined forever. You don't get to talk to me like that. Don't you know who I am?
Oh, I know exactly who you are. You are a banker at the very end of your career, about to be fired because of your abusive comments you make towards your clients. But I do wish you all the best with your job hunt. After all that you've put Carly and I through, I hope that you don't think your current bank is going to give you any kind of recommendation anywhere.
What is that supposed to mean? You have no idea what you're talking about. You think I'm gonna lose my job for handling some garbage like they ought to be?
Well, that certainly was the impression that I got when I talked to your supervisor a while ago, if you must know.
I know that you put your daughter up to this little business about the $30 million. There's no way that a girl as stupid as her, who was raised by you, could think of that.
I'm afraid you're dead wrong about that. I didn't tell my daughter to tell you anything, and as for the $30 million, well, all of that was true. Have you really not even checked around with other bankers to confirm what she was talking about? You go on and on about what an elite banker you are, and yet you haven't even done the bare minimum of making sure what you're saying is true.
Why would I bother checking anything when I know that you and your daughter are nothing but a couple of liars, huh? You think you can order me around and send me running around in circles? Well, it's not gonna happen.
Oh, Troy, I just really don't know what to do with you at all if you're going to be acting this way. I mean, you can't say that Carly and I haven't been trying to warn you about the consequences of your actions this whole time. But if you're really too arrogant or lazy to do the bare minimum of due diligence, then I suppose you'll just wait to see the consequences of your actions on your own. And if the only reason that you're messaging me right now is to hurl insults at my daughter and I, then I don't think I have anything left to say to you. And so, in the end, Troy's life became an illustrative example of how one gets hoisted with his own petard. Troy was so angry and sure that he was right about his assumptions that he couldn't even recognize the scenery changing around him. His wife finally left him, saying that she was absolutely appalled at the way he assaulted a girl she had known for half her life. I had known that she was married when I was little, but I also understood that Troy had little interest in things that didn't directly concern him. Later on, Troy was served notice from the bank that he was being fired for abusing clients and not doing his job properly. After that, he was arrested by the police and taken in because he hit me. He was forced to pay out a huge amount of money to me and is currently spending time in jail for his crimes. After all that happened, Troy's wife finally introduced me to her son. The very first thing he did was apologize about how his father had acted and said that he'd always wanted to stand up to his father, and that he was so impressed by me. I was also blown away by how charming and well-spoken he was, nothing like his father. We have our first date together this weekend. Thankfully, the bruising on my face from where Troy punched me is light enough to be covered with makeup. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.